I never would have thought that 4 roosters would have completely changed my relationship with food. I did not expect it at all, but the situation completely shifted something within me that I can't explain other than to share my own experience about what that is. So welcome back to my channel. I'm sitting outside today in this beautiful garden that we have created here on our beautiful little plot of land, and we have a lot growing. We have some eggplants over there that are popping. We have some cucumber melons, we have corn, we have carrots, we have passion fruit, we've got all the things. So I thought I would sit outside today to create this video and share vulnerably with you all. My partner and I love the lifestyle of living off the land, and we grow a lot of our own food, and we really believe in growing your own food for having that connection with nature, for having connection with your own food. And when you eat something that you have grown yourself, picked straight from the tree or the bush or whatever, it just has a different energy to it. It has a different vibrancy that you will never understand until you grow your own food. And so we're really, really passionate about this. And I've actually shared a couple of videos in our other YouTube channel that I will link below if you want to see a little bit of our beautiful food forest that we've created. Because we love growing our own food, we do have chickens on our property. We've got a lot of different varieties, a lot of different species of chickens that we absolutely love. They're our little friends, and they give us eggs. And having animals on a property means that you have responsibility. You have to make decisions that are really harder, or not necessarily decisions that you would normally make if you didn't have animals or a food forest to look after. And recently we have bought a new bunch of just chickens, and they were desexed, so we didn't, or desexed or unsexed I should say, so we didn't know if they were roosters or hens. And eventually they grew into roosters, and we had 4 roosters. There was just too many roosters on this property, and it was creating a few problems for us. Obviously it was very noisy, and the roosters are very territorial, so you need to have a lot more chickens to be able to house multiple roosters, and we just don't have the space or the capacity for that in our chicken coops. So we made the hard decision together to put down these roosters in the most humane way possible. And I'm very blessed that my partner is very conscious of these choices, and he really researched into the most humane way to put down an animal where there is no suffering. And so he created a contraption from a soda stream which just slowly releases carbon monoxide, and then they go to sleep and die in their sleep. And of course I was very, very grateful that he had done so much research into this to reduce the suffering of these animals. And the roosters weren't fully grown. They were almost grown, but they were still really babies. And I had an attachment to these chickens because we obviously raised them, and I cuddled them and I loved them, and they were so cute and had such personality. So I had to make my peace with this scenario happening and unfolding, and I picked them up and I gave them all cuddles, and I said I was so sorry for, you know, what needed to happen, but if we had have just let them go free, there's so many wild dogs around here, they would be eaten anyway, and we couldn't give them away, no one wanted them. So this was the best option that we had. And before this scenario happened, a few months back, Chris and I, my partner, had a discussion about raising chickens for meat and raising our own chickens to then obviously kill and process to eat. And he asked me the question, are you gonna be the one that's gonna do the killing, or are you gonna process these animals? And my response was absolutely not. No, I don't want to kill an animal. And he said to me, and it's never left my mind, it's still so vivid in my memory, and he said, honey, if you can't kill an animal with your own hands, you should not be eating meat. And it really stuck with me because I was eating meat, and it was so true. I felt this resonance of truth with what he was saying, and I was like, it is so true. I'm sure that if I was absolutely starving and had nothing else to eat, I could probably kill something to survive, as we probably all would as humans. And to go back to the story of the roosters, that really stuck with me, and I've thought about it often. Every time I ate meat, or every time I thought about not eating meat, it would be there in my mind. And when he took these roosters into this place, actually this is the Flow Hive, this is our spare space to hang out in, and when he took the roosters into the Flow Hive, and I knew what was gonna happen and what was happening, I just bawled my eyes out, and I just cried and sobbed for half an hour about these roosters. And I know to so many people it would seem so ridiculous, but I could not help myself. I just felt so incredibly sad that we had loved these chickens and chosen these chickens and taken them home to raise them and to feed them and spend money on them and to caretake them, and then we had to put them down. And although I knew that that was probably the best thing to do, my emotional reaction to that experience was enough evidence for me to change my reality and to change the trajectory of how I was eating and how I was choosing to eat. And I really realized that I couldn't separate the animal from the meal anymore. And I know it seems so dramatic, but to be that close to death and to be the one that is partaking in that, even though I didn't do it with my hands, I agreed to do that. And to be that close to that, there was this knowing in my body that I can't unknow this and I can't unfeel this anymore. And it's completely changed me. And I never in a million years would have thought that these 4 roosters would have impacted me so deeply. And I still, as you can see, it brings me to tears to think about having to put down animals. And from here, it took me a minute to really decide to change this completely, because I questioned myself, I questioned my emotional response. I thought to myself, am I just being so dramatic? Am I just completely emotional and way too sensitive for this world? Am I being over dramatic? Is this my childhood trauma of growing up on a property and animals being killed all the time? Is that what it is? And I really had to sit with where this emotion was coming from, where that decision was coming from, whether it was coming from my trauma or whether it was coming from a truth that I had been suppressing. And so it took me another, probably I would say, week or two I actually went away to Thailand on a retreat, and it was all plant-based there, and so I was naturally just eating plant-based anyway, and when I came back, I just said, that's it, and I'd made that decision internally, knowing that it wasn't from trauma, it was from my deep desire and compassion for other beings, and for knowing that we are all so inherently connected, and these animals are sentient beings the same as me. And from that moment I decided to just stop, and not stop in a way that is an aggressive, I will stop and will never ever do that again because that thing is so wrong. It was not at all like that. It was not a triggered response. It felt really grounded and really embodied in truth. And there was no judgment towards other people, because my partner still eats meat and a lot of people that I love still eat meat. There was no judgment towards other people for eating meat or doing that. It was just a knowing in myself that I just don't feel aligned with this anymore, and that was the truth that I came to, and it felt so freeing. Because often in the past, when I've made decisions about certain ways of eating or paths to take in my life, it's come from, fuck that is shit, I'm not doing that, I'm going this way. And it's from a triggered place where it is, you're trying to get away from something you don't want to feel, rather than feeling what you're feeling and leaning into that to then gain the truth of what is underneath. And that's what I did when I was just so upset about these roosters. And I really sat with that and was like, where is this coming from, and where is my truth within this? And it's been really profound, and I never ever thought that this would be the reason that I decided to stop eating meat a second time, because I was vegetarian for quite a few years, but it wasn't for any ethical reason. It was just because when I came back from traveling, I went traveling for 6 months around the world, and I couldn't afford to eat meat because I only took a certain amount of money with me. So I just ate vegetables and didn't eat any meat. And then when I came back, I couldn't stomach meat anymore. I felt sick when I ate it, so I stopped eating it. It wasn't for any ethical reasons. And this time, it was a completely different decision. It was really about knowing my truth and being really centered in that. And to be completely honest, I had a little bit of resistance internally because I was worried about not being able to get enough protein, because I'm very athletic and I train for Hyroxes and I run marathons, and I'm training for an Last Man Standing on New Year's Eve, and I've got fitness goals and I've also got muscle gain goals to be very strong. And I'd had this resistance of like, okay, how am I going to maintain this elite performance and just eat more plant-based? And I had all this resistance come up and fears around it. And it's been really, really interesting. As soon as I had stopped eating meat, I actually noticed that my inflammation in my body went down. I actually felt lighter overall, but I still maintained my strength in the gym. If not, I'm probably stronger now, which is pretty wild and completely unexpected. I'm sleeping better. I'm actually dreaming more deeply. I'm getting vivid dreams, because there was, for a while there, I wasn't dreaming as lucid as I used to. And I am recovering much quicker as well. And I get to eat so many more variety of foods that I wouldn't normally eat. It really puts you in this creative mindset about food and how you can create nutriently dense foods and how you can get all amino acids that your body needs, all the proteins that your body needs from multiple different plants. Because if you just eat protein from, or try and get all the protein and amino acids from one plant, it is going to be missing, because it's a matrix. And really being creative with that has been really fun. And my relationship with nature and people has shifted. I am more compassionate. It's been so interesting to see how much more compassionate and sensitive I am for other people and for the world around me, and intuitively sensitive. It's not something I expected, but there is more raw emotion there. There's more of a connection to nature in a really sensitive way. And it's been really profound to experience that and be reminded that nature has all of the answers. Nature has it all if we just really allow ourselves to be connected with it and to receive information from it and to remember who we truly are at our core, which is nature. And I'm, hand on my heart, not here to tell anyone to stop eating meat, because I am a firm believer in your choice, your will, your truth is the most important thing that you can lead with in this life. And if your truth is to eat meat, then please do. I think there is an issue in this world with over consumerism of meat. I don't think we need to eat as much as we do. And there can be much more ethically sourced ways of doing that in a much more ritualistic and compassionate way that we could do it, but that's a whole other topic in itself. But I just want to reiterate that I'm not here judging anyone. I'm here to just be a message that sometimes your heart leads you into things that are unexpected, that you would never have picked in your mind that would happen. And my message is to always lead from the heart and lead with compassion and lead with your truth. So that is the message of this video. And this video isn't about what is better nutritionally or what is the best for health. This video is about what's best for me and what's best for the individual, what is best for your greatest alignment. My greatest alignment right now is that I don't want to eat animals. I still have eggs. I still eat eggs because we have chickens and we love them and raise them with care. And so these eggs raised in a really beautiful way. I'm not eating dairy at the moment. Not to say that I never will. I'm just not at the moment. I don't feel like eating it. And I just want to eat more plants in general. And I do feel as though I'm really receiving all of my vitamins and nutrients. I'm feeling really, really good in myself, considering how much I'm training, how much I'm doing, and my life lately has been so crazy with retreats, with study, with one-on-one sessions, with creativity, with YouTube, with everything. It's been so full on, and I have somehow been able to maintain this capacity of my life. And so this conversation is not about what is a superior protein or what is the most superior nutrition for humans. This is really about choosing from what you feel is right for you, regardless of who or what study or anything else says, and just to really listen to your heart, to what feels like there is a solid knowing, a solid groundedness in your heart that what you're choosing is 100% for you and your highest truth. And this is my highest truth, and I feel so good. I feel really good, really aligned, and I'm really curious as well. The more I learn about nutrition and the more I grow within my own knowledge and my own service to humanity through this work, about how to restructure plant-based food. I can't say I'm fully plant-based because I am eating eggs, but plant-based nutrition, or plant-forward nutrition, I should say, where we're eating more plants, we're eating more fruit, we're eating more vegetables, and how we can create the perfect diet, so to speak, or how we can thrive on a really nature-based, earth-fit way of living. You know, it's really exciting. So the more that I learn, I promise I will share more with you. And also a little disclaimer on this video is I just want to share that this may not be my forever, because as humans, we are meant to change, we're meant to grow, we're meant to evolve, we're meant to learn, and we're meant to become more and more and more and more in alignment with truth and with the divine will of this life. And so maybe you'll change again. You know, maybe one day I will get it to be true for myself to eat meat again. Or maybe I will stop eating eggs. Or maybe I'll go fruitarian. Or who knows? And that's what's so exciting about this life and living from the heart, letting the heart lead and letting that intuitive knowing lead, is that we just don't know. Life is a mystery. And it's a fun mystery. It's delightful. So thank you so much for watching this, and thank you for being here, being present to my tears, my vulnerability. And if you did resonate with this video, please feel free to like, to comment about what you really received from this, what you think of the video, maybe what you would like more of as well, and subscribe as well so we can just share this with more people. Obviously I have a very small following right now, but hopefully one day it will get to a few more people out there, whoever it is aligned to be with. So again, thank you. I am grateful that you are here, and this is the Earth Fit Way.